Today is the 23rd day in the month of September 2022, and this is the newspaper review here on Top TV. My name is William Sapile, and I'm really happy to have you join us here this very beautiful Friday here from the city of Port Harcourt, Rivers State. And with me here in the program is Mr. Victor Sioko.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Happy weekend.
Yes, we're getting into the weekend, and we hope it's going to be an interesting one.
Exactly.
We look forward to it. And I'm sure you too, you're also looking forward to it. But before we go into the weekend, we want to see what happened today or within the last 24 hours on the news. And this is where we'll be bringing you that on our headlines across newspapers around Nigeria. You can also be a part of it by dropping your comments and your reactions on the comment section. We want to hear from you and, of course, know what you think about these headlines. So we'll begin today's headlines from This Day newspaper for today, the 23rd day in the month of September. And on this day here, we have National Peace Committee meets in Minna, denounces vote buying, candidates to sign 2 peace accords as Otedola, Ahmed, Agwai, Momo, Hassan joins group. All right, so pick up a copy of This Day to get details of that. We also see here, Akeredolu, we are buying AK-47 to defend our people. That story is on page 41 of This Day newspaper. Also here, Buhari, Nigeria's investment in security yielding positive results, hails military, woos foreign investors, says government taking bold steps to address revenue underperformance. NNPC, US corporation, Exim Bank seek financing for multi-billion-dollar gas project. So do well to pick up a copy of This Day newspaper. That's where you find details of that story. And that's the major headline here on This Day. We see here, Emmanuel, PDP crisis festering because people failed to walk the talk. Confident disagreements not too difficult to resolve. Explains party can't ignore the aggrieved if it intends to win 2023 polls. Will stay back to fight for equity. Wike assures promises to deliver all elected positions in the state. All right, Mr. Victor, I don't know which of the stories you want to start with, but I can just go ahead to hit you with the Akeredolu story. It says here that we are buying AK-47 to defend our people. What do you think of that move?
Okay, that came as a reaction that the government of Katsina State got the orders from the federal government to acquire AK-47 for its, will I say, equivalent of its Amotekun.
Yeah.
Amotekun being the Western Security Force, okay? More like they are policing their region, okay? The Yoruba nation region as a whole, okay?
And that's a result of the collapse of our security architecture in the country.
Exactly.
And most of the states have, gone ahead to form security agencies that will, protect their territory.
Exactly. So, Akeredolu, who is the current governor of Ondo State and an APC governor, had to, will I say, oppose the government, the federal government, for not allowing them to arm Amotekun with rifles, with guns, okay? So they want to also upgrade the weapons that their own Amotekun is using to AK-47, just like what has happened over there in Katsina State. So they are seeing it, as in the governor of Ondo State is seeing it in a way that this is more like Buhari playing, Buhari and Katsina playing nepotism, okay? Playing favoritism because the president is from Katsina State. Maybe he just wants to secure his own side, his own state, and forgetting other regions. So why would you approve AK-47 for their own equivalent of Amotekun, and you do not approve their own Amotekun from carrying AK-47? And just recently, just within the past 48 hours, there have been so much header clashes, headsmen clashes, okay, in Edo State, in Benue State. In fact, just the other day, the Benue governor, Otom, came out to cry out to UN that he is having, as in the United Nations, that he is having humanitarian crisis in his place. Just recently, 14 persons were killed by suspected herdsmen. Same thing happened in Enugu, just Enugu here, by Nsukka Enugu Expressway. That herdsmen came came out in public and they were shooting sporadically. Okay? In Katsina State, they are still having this issue of herdsmen. So it's a troubling issue. Even in the same Akeredolu that came out, he came out to make this statement. He even signed it there in Akure just few days ago. They were also attacked. Okay, so it's something that most states have embraced their own, in quote, you call them vigilante in our tongue, we call them vigilante. Okay, but yes, they are not just calling them vigilante. They feel they have devised a very proper, in quote, a proper framework for them to carry out their duties. Mind you, the Amotekun, they don't have a court. Their own is just get suspects and deliver to the police. Okay, so I know with the way the whole thing is going, Amotekun, I say Amotekun, and Akeredolu has been so vocal. When it comes to his state, you find out that he's so vocal. And considering the fact that over 50 worshippers were killed about 3 months ago, he has been so vocal.
I think that's part of the renewed, strength that he has.
Yes.
Speak more about, securing the state.
Yeah, and some APC stalwarts, they do not like this. They are like, why are you demarketing our party in a time like this?
Oh, well.
But he has shown that,
APC as a party has. I don't want to go, just be very forward about accusing them of playing politics with human lives, but that has been, the very common thing in this very administration. They've gone ahead to play politics with the happenings, where we've seen people die and they come out to say, make it very trivial and make it look like, it's not a big deal. And that we are working on it. We are working on it is not what Nigerians can hold on to. We want to see, proper actions being taken. And that's why the state governor, Akeredolu, is doing what he's doing. That if, all right, Katsina State is being protected to this level, we want to feel protected. And if we have a security arm, set up by the state government that can do this, let us go ahead and arm them. If they were armed, maybe what happened in may have been prevented.
Yes.
Because you cannot see, if these guys were shooting sporadically and freely, there's nothing to actually, go ahead and, give a reprisal, to what they were doing. So they just sat back and watched these guys operate until it was over. So I think the governor is not crazy. We've also seen in time past where the Zamfara state governor say, okay, residents should go ahead and pick up arms and protect themselves. It just goes ahead to tell you that the whole entire security architecture of the country is collapsing by the day. And people are beginning to seek means of protecting themselves. And this is not very strange to me. And it's not out of place if you ask me. And the federal government should look into this matter. And if this is becoming troublesome to them, they should go ahead and sign the state police law. Let states begin to protect themselves the way they best deem it. Because you at the federal level cannot tell me about my house. I know my house and the environs more than you. So allow me to protect it the best way. Just as Governor Wike set up OSPAC, it was able to, quell the very frequent attacks on our highways and kidnappings that were going on. That is because he knows how to deal with these boys that are doing these things. So state police will go a long way to fix this. I know the federal government knows this, but they haven't been able to, deal with this matter head on.
Yeah, and you see, you just mentioned you've been pondering on state police. The campaigns are about to start. Mm-hmm. And I assure you, Mr. Bule, that these three major parties, in fact, every party will start talking about state policing. Remember what happened the last election? It was more like reform, and change. PDP was like, change. So this new campaign season, I bet you that state policing will be a huge topic. And I know that most of these candidates, they will never oppose bringing in community or state police come this election. But the problem now will be implementation. It's not just about talking.
It's not about talking. Yeah.
It's not about talking. It's about having the right framework, structure it out so that it works and you apply them.
All right, we're going to move on to our next paper for today, and that will be the Vanguard newspaper. And on Vanguard here, we see 2023 federal government PDP campaign cancelled at war over economic blueprint. All right, that's a very interesting one. the APC has accused PDP of stealing their economic blueprint. That's very ridiculous.
Like I told you, everybody will go the way of state policing this time around.
So, I mean,
and oil theft.
Yeah, because this one was really funny. And the question will be asked that what has the APC, what has the economic blueprint of the APC delivered to Nigerians in the course of 8 years? Nothing. So what are they stealing?
And like Mohammed said, like, you are the same person that has been against our policies.
Yeah.
Why are you going out there to copy and paste our policies?
It's a very, very
what a funny campaign season that we're going to have.
I'm just telling you, and this is just a sign of more of this very kind of funny accusations that we're going to see. All right, moving on to other headlines here on the Vanguard. We see as the major headline here, it says, crisis. No living PDP will fight within, Wike tells allies. To tell own side of PDP crisis today, and that's already ongoing. If you're not watching it, that has been ongoing on some of the national TV channels, and then of course on social media handles, where Wike is talking to press and to the entire world about his own side of the PDP crisis. All right, moving on, still on the Vanguard here, he says, we won't ignore Wike. His associate, Emmanuel Udom, speaking, will soon resolve our differences. PDP governors assure Board of Trustees Nigerians. Board of Trustee Chairman orders to meet Wike, calls for Ayu's removal, unfair to Atiku. Calls for Ayu's removal, unfair to Atiku. Dele Momodi speaking there. Abia PDP to Atiku, tell Ayu to resign now. Protest exclusion of Southeast in party's hierarchy. All of that you find on page 26 of the Vanguard newspaper. So do well to pick up a copy and read up. If Katsina security have AK-47, Amotekun must also be armed. Ondo Governor Akeredolu declares, and that story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. We'll also take this one. It says there, Tambowa takes over from Fayemi as NGF chairman. You find that story on page 4 of the Vanguard newspaper. So let me come to you, Mr. Victor. It says, crisis, no leaving the PDP will fight within, Wike tells allies. In fact, a while ago before we came onto the program, we saw him speaking on national TV about, his issues. So can we just go over, he says he's not leaving the PDP. Do you believe him? And some of the things we heard him say in that interview that is ongoing or may have, been rounding up by now. What are your conclusions as to why, whether he's going to leave the PDP, and what are the consequences of, him being or remaining in the PDP while this crisis is still on? How's that going to play out?
Okay. One striking thing about the statement that he made, he tried to market himself to say that, see, the PDP cannot do without him in his state. Okay? Yeah. Meaning that he has the power to give the VDP the block of Rivers State come 2023 elections. Okay. He also mentioned that, see, from 1999, if you want to win the election, that you must consider 3 states: Lagos, Kano, and Rivers State. And he also asked, will these people, will they be able to win Lagos? Will they be able to win Kano State? That the best bet for them out of these 3 states is Rivers State. And I think he made so much sense in that, considering the analytics from 1999 to date. You must win 1 or 2 of those states for you to become the next president of Nigeria. So if the PDP don't win Rivers State, and I'm very sure that they will not win Lagos State, because to me,
that's the
Lagos State is well divided. Paramount, Jagaban gets Lagos State, and the second might just be P2B. Reason, because we have immigrants, plenty Igbo migrants and Southern immigrants in Lagos State, meaning that it is not just a PDP state.
It's not a PDP.
The most number of immigrants we have in Lagos State are Igbos, and you know that the Southeasterners are really going for P2B. So then what about Kano State? Kano State is an APC state. come to think of it, you have the strong and vibrant Ganduje, Gandola. Gandola will not.
Very true.
Yes, we know that Wike is vocal. Gandola might not be as vocal as Wike, but Gandola. Why am I calling him Gandola? Ganduje is very rooted. He has his people, and to split the votes further, you have Kwankwaso. So, are you now going to tell us that? For me, even P2B does not have any block of Kano State, because Kano is APC. Yes, one might be against my prediction, but I think that is my own prediction.
There's also Kwankwaso there.
There's Kwankwaso
trying to,
yes. So you need to first rate APC before what do you call it? Kwankwaso.
That's the NNP.
NNPP.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that aside, the governor that's governor of Rivers State, he also made it known that, see, in my place, every local government, the 23 local government, if you go to any of the local government, I have a major project there. Meaning that I try to make sure that I unify everybody. And he used the word unify. Now bringing it down to the Atiku's camp. Atiku has been with the mantra, unify, that he wants to unify Nigeria, not just the party. Which people are saying, if you cannot unify your party, how will you be able to unify the entire Nigeria?
And he keeps, I think he keeps excluding himself, saying, okay, I'm not the party chairman, or I'm not the one that make this move, make that move. And then you hear Wike ask the question, even though it wasn't directed, I don't know if it was directing it to Atiku. It was like, if you're not ready to make the sacrifice, how are you going to win an election? You're not ready to, make sacrifice, bend your back, just for the greater good. How are you going to win an election? It's a very, very critical question.
And that brings us back to 2014. Just after the PDP National Convention. He did not like the manner of the way the convention went, which is almost playing out by Wike. Wike did not like how the convention went about. And Atiku decamped to the APC. Okay. So for me, Atiku is so mature to know that this is critical for his election.
Very, very.
In 2006, he decamped because of what? Issues of party issues. In 2009, he decamped again to the PDP. He went back to the PDP. In 2006, he left PDP. In 2009, he went back to PDP. In 2014, to APC. On what? He is always blaming the structure of the party. Okay? So right now, it is in your hands to make it work. If ASU, for right now, I say ASU, if IU is the problem, you tell ASU, please resign. Yes, if you also check the constitution of the party, you find out that if ASU leaves, it will still be another Northern. Okay? Before you now have Northern, because you have the vice chairman North that takes over, then you now have the South vice chairman that is now third seeded. Okay? But you also ask, if you guys were able to make the BOT chairman to resign so that Adolphus Wambara of Imo State will become the BOT chairman, why can't you still use that same tactics and let Ayu resign?
So I listened to one of the PDP chieftains say that, okay, to get a new national chairman is going to require some kind of a convention and all of that, and that they don't have the time. So the Wike camp should be patient for them to go through this election before they bring up this matter, and by then they are going to go ahead to change the national chairman. But at the moment, they don't have that time, the luxury of time to say, okay, we want to organize a convention where we can now choose someone from the South and all of that. And Wike, in response to all of that, is saying, you are the ones wasting your time. You are wasting your time, and it's going to be very detrimental to everything that people are doing. The people advising you that Rivers State is not important does not like you. They hate you. That's why they are, telling you that Rivers State is not important. And it's not, if you say the problem is about me, Wike, and that's saying that I am the man that the PDP has problem with, the whole state is going to still support the PDP, then you're joking, because I am the pastor here. I know how to preach to my people. This one I'm saying on air is not the same thing I tell my people when we're indoors. And these are things that he doesn't even need to say that to anybody before they know that yes, the guy has a stronghold here in River State, and they should listen to him. What he's asking for is not out of place. Even if they take it to the court of law today, he's not asking for something that is abnormal. It is just to balance the table and for the sake of equity. I mean, look at it. The party is one-sided at the moment. To topple it, they're holding on to the fact that during the national convention, the party chairman came out, but they just made that statement. That he came out in the open to say Tambawal, hero of the day, and all of that just shows that they have been very biased about everything. And if you look at the hierarchy in the party now, it is very lopsided. And so they are saying that whether you say the time frame is small or not, we know that this is doable, and that's why we're asking for it. So go ahead and do it. Make that necessary sacrifice so that we can win the election. And I don't think Wike is crazy. He knows exactly what he's saying. He knows how to get it. And if they don't want it, he has put it plain to them. If you still will not comply to my demands, go ahead and have your election. Forget River State. I know how to deal with my people here. We're going to win the election in this state, but don't worry about the rest.
But I also want to bring it down to local politics. Yeah. If you go out to the street and ask people, see, is Wike a fair and a man of equity? This is the PDP palaver right now is about equity. Are you making the utterance that he will step aside if the party presidential candidate comes from the north? Okay, you also ask the question from the people in the state. Are they seeing equity and fairness in the delivery of projects in the state? Some persons will say Wike is about Obiapo. In as much as he has made, in as much as he has made the point that if you go to any state that he has touched it, come down to the grassroots, the people, not just his own people, the Ikwere people, go and meet other persons, immigrants like you and I. Okay, you go and ask. I have traveled around the state. You find out that a chunk of the project is situated in Obiapo. That brings us back. That is the problem I have with politicians. They will say a word, and tomorrow, if you go and filter the word, sieve it very properly, you find out that there is no equity, there is no fairness in their statements.
It's about their interest.
Yes.
What is going to
politics of Nigeria in particular, in this country, is about one's interest.
Yeah, I sure agree with you. All right, we're going to go into our next paper, but that will be right after this very short break. When we come back, we will continue with the headlines on our newspapers. Now that you have registered for your PVC, it doesn't stop there. Ensure you pick up your PVC. Be alert. Join many Nigerians to vote credible leaders that will change the tide of this nation. Do not sell your vote. Remember, this is our future. Your vote is your voice.
This message is proudly brought to you by Thav Media Limited.
All right, welcome back from that break. All right, we'll continue with the headlines here on the Newspaper Review on Top TV, and we'll continue with Daily Sun newspaper. And on Daily Sun newspaper, here as the major headline, we see NNPC, U.S. corporation, Exim Bank seal deal on gas project. That story is on page 2 of the Daily Sun newspaper. We also see here federal government to confer national honors October 1st. As the major headline on Daily Sun newspaper, we see here Wike to unveil preferred presidential candidate. Rivers governor rules out quitting PDP. Party leaders to hold zonal peace meetings to end crisis. Article still open to reconciliation. Spokesman Governor Emmanuel tells IU orders to keep their promises. All right, and so here as other headlines, we see Amotekun to bear arms in Ondo. Akeredolu, that story you'll find on page 28 of the Daily Sun newspaper. We also see Lai Mohammed, Atiku clash over blueprint economy. That story is on page 26 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And other headlines here says, court order, federal government has declared war and ASU. Court order, federal government has declared war and ASU. You see, okay, federal government has declared war on us, ASU. You find that story on page 27. It says, Rep summon SGF in Gige orders over strike. All right, let me come to you, Mr. Victor. It says, federal government has declared war on ASU. And they are crying out. And in one of the reports I see where they say, okay, they want to delist ASU as an organization or as an association, as a union. And that has brought up a lot of reaction and concerns from Nigerians. What is the federal government up to?
Okay, yeah, the war is on. And when wars happen, it causes a bigger war causes civil war in many cases. So there is also a civil war, meaning that there is a unit war, as in a sub-war inside the main war. So what is happening in ASU is that the Medical Lecturers Association are pulling out from ASU. Okay? They are forming their own union. Okay? So that they can also have their own say. Meaning that the umbrella of ASU is depleting. Mind you, from their numbers, many will leave the shores of this country. The ASU chairman, Professor Oshodeke, has already said that, and I see it coming to fruition. Because you ask, what are they even demanding? Okay? Why would you be paying a lecture, not just a lecture, a professor 400,000 naira in the Nigeria of today? A professor with so much research that he has done, with so much work that he has put in, to become lecturer for Nigeria is not being so. I know the kind of both physical and mental stress you go through before you get to that position, and you are being paid just 400,000 naira. Okay, that aside, the war. Part of the war is that that the Ministry of Labor, they might, it's still a report, that they might delist or deregister the union. That's the Academic Staff Union of Nigeria. They might just be delisted on the grounds that they have not submitted their account audit report for the last 5 years. So you see, a lot is happening in this quagmire between ASU, the government, Ministry of Labor, the federal government, NUC. In fact, there is so much war happening right now. Okay, you also ask, yes, why are they delisting? Why do they want to delist them? Okay, the government have powers over unions. For you to register your union through the CAC, you need to meet up to the requirements. The requirement that every June of every year, it is required of your body to submit your audited account, your accounts audited documents. Okay, why do they do this? So that they can monitor the dues that have paid in, the money that has gone in and out of your union. Okay, so well, it will be witch hunting. Okay, you just ask, why are they going this hard on ASU? Just because they want you guys to fulfill your agreement. You have agreed to do this. Okay, 2009 agreement, you guys said you are not in power. There was then a 2019 agreement. Oh yeah, now fulfill the 2019 agreement. Problem. Okay, come to the table. Let's meet. Since June, you guys are just perambulating, playing them playing them soccer. Okay, so it's so unfortunate that when two elephants are fighting, the grass suffers it, just like the students are suffering it right now. It's so sad.
Very, very unfair on the ASU, on the lecturers. I mean, what they are crying for is not entirely for their well-being alone. It is generally for the entire educational system of the country, especially the tertiary institutions we have here. And they have come out to make it clear in so many ways to tell you that these tertiary institutions are not up to standard. They cannot match international standards. They lack a lot, and it has put more pressure on them, the lecturers, in what they are supposed to, in their level of delivery. And that's why they're saying, in terms of remuneration, it's not enough for the kind of pressure that the system is putting on us. So go ahead and rejig the system financially to this level, and so it can ease off on the kind of pressure it is putting on us. So what they're asking for is not for the personal interest of these lecturers, it's for the collective. Yet we still see the federal government resisting, and you the one will wonder, why are they resisting doing the right thing? Why is it such a struggle to go ahead and do the right thing? What is required of you as a government? And then you blame it on the lecturer. Now they are now going the route of trying to delist ASU, and so that they can have an easy way of dealing with this matter. Students said, go back to status quo, go back to the old life.
ASU will not exist anymore.
Yeah,
so who balances all these things.
So they
That
don't
is
want-
the
they don't want
reason
any
for
check
the
and
union.
balance. That's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
yes.
The federal government is just making it clear that they don't want any check and balance. They, somebody has earlier accused this Buhari government of being very autocratic, being very military in a democratic way. And if that is they're taking this route, it's clear that that's what that has been all the while. That when you speak out, you get suppressed and oppressed down and kicked out. So why would they be ill? It is now they know that ASU has not submitted any audited report for the last 5 years. So 5 years had gone. You are not come out to say, okay, guys, if you don't do this, we're going to delist you. Or the association was not working 5 years ago. Now that they have held the federal government, in their throats, now we see stories like, oh, this union, they even have issues. Let's go and address the issue. That's not how things are done. Settle the matter first and then bring up one after the other. I mean, that's how I see it.
And they are also trying to go the same another route of calling all VCs, all vice chancellors, and will I say pressure them to go back to classes. And
So the federal government is just doing everything they can to go to the back door.
Some VCs have already accepted that, and they are calling their lecturers to come and resume
They
work.
are dying of hunger. Have you met any lecturer recently? They are not doing well. The sacrifice they are making now to ensure that the school system is back on track and on the right track, my brother, is a lot. These lecturers, most of them don't have any other means of keeping up except the salaries they earn from these schools. But because of the fact that they are determined this time to say, okay, we're not going to back down until the federal government comes through, they are making a lot of sacrifice. Some of them are practically begging to feed. Begging. Some of them have gone into farms. Some of them are bus conductors that you don't even know because you don't know all these guys from all the schools. Some of them are using their cars as Uber rides these days because, my brother, that's how much sacrifice they are making. So when you are being offered, don't worry, go back to class, I'll give you the least 800K. Why not? I mean, we must survive. People must have to have some way to keep their heads up. Anyway, that's all we'll be taking this morning. I want to thank you so much for your contributions on the program. And to our viewers, thank you for staying up to this time. We love you, and you guys are the real MVPs. Don't forget to join us again on another episode of the program here on TAP TV. This has been the Newspaper Review. See you next time. My name is Williams Abule.